Feel free to go to our website, www.commonwealthclub.org, and tune in, especially look at events, where it lists all the various events that are happening every month. If you want to become a member, it's not expensive. You can join anytime. You can join at different levels. Membership starts about $100 or so. I think it's about $95, something like that. It's pretty cheap. And you can come. A lot of it's free. Some other members are here. Carol Fleming, the head of our membership forums, which program about 50% of the events that are here. And and we have a board member or two here. Gerald is here from our board of directors, Gerald Harris. And so we spread out everywhere. But we like to focus on home. And I thought, well, look at this. This date was up. And what was the day before? Juneteenth. It was just amazing. That of course, it was a federal holiday, so we were closed. But today, we're hoping and glad to see you here. The program for this evening focuses on standing tall and features a very tall organization. It's called Afro Solo. Woohoo! Led by a very tall gentleman, Thomas Robert Simpson. You can wave, Robert. And it really celebrates and commemorates the achievements of black people, black men, black youth, and the achievements that go unnoticed, but we notice it a lot. And so we're happy to have, this is not the first time Afro Solo has been at the Commonwealth Club. It's been here several times. If you want more information, we've got information about Afro Solo, which we'll have available for you. And at the end of the program, we'll have a survey. Thomas likes surveys about your experience. So without further ado, because I'm watching the clock, does anybody have any other immediate questions? Okay. We will then, I'm going to turn it over to our illustrious group of hosts and presenters. And we start off with a very fine leader in a native San Franciscan, Monetta White, who is the executive director of the Museum of the African Diaspora. Yes. In which everybody realizes we're all part of the diaspora. And she's going to host the program this evening. Monetta, other than the virtue of being a native San Francisco and leading a major black arts organization, has also been involved. Many of us actually associated her with food, with 1300 Fillmore, which she ran for many years. And she was also president of the Merchants Association of Lower Fillmore. So as a businesswoman, a food woman, a jazz woman, and a true leader, we are very excited that she's going to bring us home tonight. Thank you. Monetta, come on up.
Hide it over here. Oh, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Excellent, excellent. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight. You know, when Thomas asked me to MC this evening, obviously that was a yes, and a big yes, as we have to stick together and, you know, as we represent the black art and culture here in San Francisco. It is a pleasure that we get a chance to collaborate with them often. Well, we're here tonight in celebration of Juneteenth, Standing Tall. Tonight we're in for a special treat as we have an incredible lineup of some amazing performers. It gives me pleasure to introduce this next person, Peter Fitzsimmons, who was my neighbor for many years over at 1300. So this is a real treat. Just to give you a little information about Peter Fitzsimmons will present a narrative and slide presentation of the glorious history of San Francisco's Fillmore District, also known as the Harlem of the West. Fitzsimmons is a native San Franciscan. He is currently a documentary filmmaker and executive director of 150 Years of Jazz History in San Francisco. He is also working with the Fillmore Jazz Ambassadors as their jazz historian. Peter was the founding executive director of the San Francisco Jazz Heritage Center. He is the acclaimed actor with multiple film, TV, and stage credits. Fitzsimmons' appearance in collaboration with the Fillmore Jazz Ambassadors and Planet Fillmore. Please welcome Peter Fitzsimmons.
Well, hello everyone. Happy Juneteenth? Juneteenth month. I want to just say welcome, and I want to take us on a sentimental journey of San Francisco jazz history. A little ragtime. First, a little background on me. I was the founding executive director of the Jazz Heritage Center, and we were located in San Francisco's Fillmore, known as Harlem of the West. JHC was next door to Yoshi, San Francisco, and the lovely 1300. Man, I miss that place. Great food, great times. We really tore it up out there. Great times. And we had an illustrious 7-year run as the anchor of the San Francisco Jazz Preservation District. So we got Willie Brown up in here. He was offering comments on this slide in support of the Jazz Preservation District, which at that time included Yoshi, San Francisco, and the Jazz Heritage Center, all located on Fillmore and Eddy. Now, I am currently working with the Fillmore Jazz Ambassadors, founded by Darlene Roberts, wonderful woman, as their jazz historian. I'm got to be on camera. We're zooming. Where's the camera? It's good to be back. Okay, so where was I? Founded by Darlene Roberts as their jazz historian. I'm also the executive producer of our upcoming documentary, 150 Years of Jazz History in San Francisco, with major funding from the Dreamkeepers Initiative and under the guidance of Cheryl Davis and the Human Rights Commission. Now, we are working in collaboration with Lance Burton of Planet Fillmore Communications. And I also want to give out a special thanks to Barbara Early of Early Rider Communications for designing this deck and helping me put together this presentation. Thank you, Barbara Early. Where are you? Our research material for the history of jazz includes Harlem of the West, written by my friends Louis Watts and Elizabeth Pepin. This masterpiece illustrates multiple vintage images of the vibrant scene back in the day. And my other go-to book is titled The Jazz on the Barbary Coast, written by Tom Stoddard. And his book reflects on San Francisco as a vital center of the birth of jazz, circa early 1900s. Now, as soon as I get to the next page, get it on. Our sentimental journey begins in the early 1900s. Slides designated with a trailer banner indicate that they have been lifted from our documentary. Here we see the dance halls and the jazz joints in this Barbary Coast area, illustrating some of the earliest documented history of this time. Now, these jazz joints were located on Pacific Street, sometimes referred to as Terrific Street. The word jazz first appeared in print in a San Francisco newspaper in 1913. This area of the Barbary Coast literally grew out of the fires and the ashes of 1906 earthquake. The So Different Cafe, the Hippodrome, Spider Kelly's nightclub dotted the landscape. Musicians from all over the country came here to play or listen. New Orleans musicians Jelly Roll Morton and King Oliver explored and played in this area as well. Sid LaPrate. He first came around here. He was a trained pianist, and he's a band leader from Oakland. Everybody know where Oakland is? Yeah, okay, good. He was influenced by ragtime, which he first heard in 1895. He later once said, "Barbary Coast is gone, but one good thing was, didn't take me with it." Sid's band learned to improvise, and he could read music scores. His 4-bar beat morphed into the earliest sounds of jazz. Jazz spots kind of died out in the Barbary Coast, resurfaced in other parts of the city. A few blocks up from the Barbary Coast in the area that became known as North Beach, jazz clubs included the Jazz Workshop, Hungry Eye, the Matador, El Matador, to mention a few. Famed trombonist and bandleader Turk Murphy held court at the Dawn Club. That's like in early dawn. As the early sounds of jazz permeated the entertainment landscape. However, the real epicenter of jazz, San Francisco jazz, was yet to come. Fillmore Street. Fillmore. Yeah, feel it. Feel that mo. Fillmore. Back in 1940, during World War II, African Americans came to the West Coast primarily for economic reasons. Now, they came to San Francisco for high-paying shipbuilding jobs created by the defense industry. Many of them landed in the Fillmore District. By the 1950s, there were over 15,000 African Americans living in this area, also known as the Western Addition. As early as 1870, the Fillmore was truly a diverse neighborhood, and by the 20th century, this area of San Francisco, a vibrant multicultural neighborhood, soon became known as the entertainment destination and hub of African American music and culture. Leola King. Leola King, queen of the Fillmore. Leola was one of the first women of color to own and run a Bay Area nightclub. She bought the Golden Mirror and changed the name to the Blue Mirror, which quickly became Star-Studded Scene. Musicians frequenting her spot included Josephine Baker, and on occasion, she'd bring her buddy Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor making the scene in San Francisco. Long Bar and the Flamenco. Here you see two entrances to the Long Bar. There it is. And Club Flamenco, two jazz joints on or near Fillmore Street. Now, the next slide is found in the book, The Harlem of the West. Now, this slide shows you over 20 jazz clubs up and down the Fillmore area, dotting the neighborhood. It was like the mecca of jazz. Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Over 20 jazz clubs found in the Fillmore, sometimes referred to as the Mo. The Mo. Yeah. Charles Sullivan. Now, I had the great opportunity to portray this man in a play that we just did in Immersive Theater over at Southern Fillmore, as we recreated a club called Bop City, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But I got to play Charles Sullivan was the mayor of Fillmore. In 1954, Charles Sullivan, one of the most successful African-American businessmen in San Francisco at the time, started booking bands and renamed the Majestic Hall the Fillmore Auditorium. Now, he hired Bill Graham to manage the venue, and under Graham's management, it became the legendary House of Rock and Roll. Charles hired Jimbo Edwards, the infamous Jimbo Edwards, for Bop City, known the world over. Jimbo ran it with compassion, dignity, and diligence. He ran a tight ship. He tolerated no racial discrimination whatsoever. In the early days, it was chicken and waffles and jazz. Whew! Music was the binding agent. Musicians were admitted free. Everyone else had to pay $1. Jimbo once said, "I put me out a neon sign and everybody started coming. My friend Billy Eckstein, I got him to hang out in my little joint. Then here come Miles, Charlie Parker." Eventually, jazz greats, such as Coltrane, Dexter Gordon, Billie Holiday, they all shared their music with the local legends like Charlie Mingus, Vernon Alley, F. Allen Smith, my dad, Johnny Mathis, so many others. Here's a ticket I designed of Bop City. Musicians got in free, and everybody else had to pay $1 to get in Bop City. Next door, you see Chico Hamilton on the drums at Bop City. Bop City's entrance. Bop City was our jazz mecca. I have distant memories of Bop City. My mom would bundle me up to go hear my dad, F. Allen Smith, blow his horn in the house band. And after hours and jam sessions, I was known as the Bop City baby. The joint was in existence from 49 to 65. Interracial crowd was there to see and be seen, and more importantly, to listen. Bop City's opening featured Dizzy Gillespie Orchestra and Sarah Vaughan. Now, as I said, the 2 a.m. club till 6 a.m. club was infamous the world over. Another view, another memory. My mother, Patricia Nacy, was the founder of the Friends of Jazz. She once summed it up this way: Jimbo's was more than just a place to hear great sounds. It was like a snapshot of your soul, or a snapshot of the soul of a community. My mom said, I think in the early dawn of civil rights movement, it was 3 a.m. at Jimbo's. On the cover of Harlem of the West, you see a young John Handy on sax. Next to him, the man who taught me how to ride a bicycle, Pony Poindexter. Bad boy, Pony Poindexter. Standing alongside a very young future legend, John Coltrane. And standing next to him, Frank Fisher on trumpet. Two of these legends are still with us, John Handy and Frank Fisher. Now, the scene included Chet Baker and friends, Vernon Alley on bass, crooner Johnny Mathis, and my dad, F. Allen Smith, there on the trumpet. Who else can you recognize? The Davis brothers. No, it's Miles Davis and Sammy Davis. Billy, Mel Torme, Billy and her little dog. Local legends and San Francisco favorite, Margie Baker. Now, she is also still with us, and she has graced me with so many fond memories to embrace and include in our jazz history documentary, History of San Francisco Jazz. Band leader extraordinaire, Saunders King. Dewey Redman. So many talented musicians migrated to the Fillmore jazz scene. 59, Dewey Redman, originally from Fort Worth, Texas, moved to San Francisco where he was a sought-after saxophonist who performed free jazz. Dewey was a band leader and played with jazz legend Ornette Coleman. He also is the father of internationally acclaimed and charismatic jazz artist Joshua Redman. Uncle Earl Watkins, San Francisco native. Earl Watkins was one of the first musicians to integrate the Musicians Local 6 union and later served on the board. That's Earl on the drums, by the way. He served on the board of the directors for the Local 6. And my dear friend Merle Saunders and some guy named Jerry Garcia. My dearly departed friend Merle was a multi-genre musician. He played piano, keyboards, and the Hammond B3. In his first band in high school, his featured singer was the jazz great Johnny Mathis. Later, he collaborated with legendary Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. Now, Merle was all jazz, but he could rock out with the best of them. Miss you, Merle. Future of Jazz, montage of the upcoming and current names in jazz. Now, the future of jazz is represented here in these last slides with living legends and composer Marcus Shelby on bass. Also seen on this slide, the incredibly versatile Jazz Mafia, the incomparable Paula West, my good friend LeVay Smith, and the Red Hot Skillet Lickers. And yours truly next to my good buddy, crooner Nick Beard. Let's just soak it in. But we don't have much time. So, current living legends include the captivating Mary Stallings, Jules Broussard, master of the two sax performance, along with virtuoso multi-instrumentalist Noel Jukes. We must not leave out the up-and-coming jazz students at the California Jazz Conservatory. That's the photograph in the top right. Got the young folks coming along. So anyhow, this concludes part one of jazz history in San Francisco. I want to thank the Commonwealth Club and my man Thomas Simpson of Afro Solo for allowing us to take this short, sentimental journey together. Stay tuned for part two, the future of jazz, to be continued.
Well, I would like to thank Peter for sharing that rich history. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? That rich history of the Fillmore. Hearing all those names just brought back a lot of memories of stories that my mom and music. So thank you for that, Peter. Our next guest, Marcus J. Page, will perform a expert, There Is No Hatred Here, written and directed by Thomas Robert Simpson. Marcus J. Page is a Southern California-born singer and actor whose performance skills have been described as arrestingly powerful and enchantingly resonant. With an educational background in vocal performance from both Chapman University's Hall Musco Conservatory of Music and the San Francisco Conservatory of Music, his versatile vocal prowess prowess has created many opportunities in the field of opera, recital, concert, musical theater, commercial music, and straight plays. Please welcome Mr. Page.
My brothers and sisters, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Now, I know this was a special request, but I want to talk to you before you start to hearing the rumors that I've changed, that I'm not the same brother I used to be. I want you to know that I am the same person who walked the picket lines with you, the same person who got beaten by the police, like some of you, the same person who started the Feed the Children program, and the same person who started our very own Neighborhood Watch program. I know we've got a lot of work to do, but I am proud of what we've done. Yes. I am the same person, but I want you to know that I do see some things differently. Some of you may remember I had just released my latest book, White Man, 40 Acres and a Mule Don't Equal Freedom. I dedicated it to Tricky Dick Nixon. There was a book signing party. Now, the signings for my first two books, White Man, Go Back to Your Caves, dedicated to George Wallace, and White Man, I'll Meet You in Hell, dedicated to J. Edgar Hoover, were at small black bookstores. This one was being held at one of the major chain stores. The press was there. The cameras were flashing all over. And you know how hard it is to get the press, especially the white press, to cover a black book signing. More people had showed up than I had anticipated. I expected to sign 50 to 75 books the whole day. I signed 50 the first hour, and the line kept growing. They kept coming. I got hot, started sweating, and there was this loud buzzing chatter around the whole store. Keep up the good work. Congratulations. I have always admired you. We need brave brothers like you out there on the front lines. People said all kinds of things to me. Some would amaze you. Now, a couple of times I wanted to laugh, but they were so serious, I had to hold myself. I saw her, but I didn't really see her. You know how you can look at somebody but not really see them? She was rather plain from what I remember. She smiled, I smiled. She didn't say anything. She put the book down, and I was about to sign it when she reached in her sweater and lunged towards me. It all happened so fast, yet it felt like it was in slow motion. I saw this shiny thing coming towards me. It was surreal, like it wasn't really happening. I rose up to ask, "What's going on?" And that's when it came in. Precious Lord, Daddy, why do I have to walk a mile when there's a school 4 blocks away? Take my hand. Daddy, why can't I go to the Dixie 5 and 10 cent store? Lead me on. Let me stand. Lord, come on and take your soldier on home. I want to be with my Lord. Do you want to be with the Lord? If you want to get into heaven, you got to hear the gospel from the good book. You got to believe it, confess all of it, and go down in a watery grave if you want to get into heaven. By the age of 6, I knew that better than most of the grown-ups in church. I heard it so many times. My father heard it many times from his father. I was expected to say it many, many times. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. That's what he said. The Lord's will be done. We prayed a lot. Prayer changes things. Prayer can change water into wine, move any big mountain. Prayer changes things. Daddy, why do I have to walk a mile when there's a school 4 blocks away? That's just the way it is, sonny boy. But the Lord is working on it. Why can't I go into the Dixie 5 and 10 cent store? There's nothing you need in there. Well, why do Mama have to go in the back door of the lady's house she cleaned for? So she can buy you clothes to go to church in. I knew something was wrong. Come on, y'all gonna be late. I don't want to get any trouble. Five fourths plus 2/4 equals 7/4. That equals 7/4, which equals 1 3/4. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I am a man. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Daddy, some of the big kids left school early today. They say they freedom marchers. Can I be a freedom marcher next week? No, son. I don't want you getting mixed up with that bunch. You got to be careful. They trying to get too much too fast. You got to wait and take it easy. But my 17-year-old sister was not willing to wait. Against my father's orders, she went. And something happened. A few weeks later, I found out. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Me and some of my friends left school early that day. We walked downtown to the Tennessean Theater. Now, to go in, you gotta follow some arrows that leads to an alley, that leads to a door, that leads to some stairs, that leads to a balcony where they make us watch the movie. They make us sit on these hard benches, and they ain't got no cushions. We decided that we wanted to sit anywhere we want. So we didn't go in that day. We sat in front of the theater and started singing and praying. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. 15 minutes later, the fire and police department showed up and told us to disperse. Disperse. They just told us to leave. But we didn't. They gave us an extra 15 minutes, and then they turned on the hoses. The force from one of them was so strong, it knocked my friend Josie down and just washed her down the street. You could see trickles of blood where her face scraped against the street. And then they let the dogs loose. I started running. I could hear the sirens, the fire hoses, the dogs barking. I ran, but I could see those belly clubs going up and down. One of the police officers hit my friend Linda on the jaw when she was down on the sidewalk. Blood come gushing out of her mouth. 2 dogs was chewing on Michael's stomach and leg. I tripped and fell. And that's when he caught me. He hit me on my head, my back, my sides, my hips, and my legs. He hit me all over. And I wanted him to stop. It hurt so bad, I thought I was going to die. And when he did stop, another one dragged me to a paddy wagon. My hip was dislocated. They had to put a metal clip in it. I still got it. But I'm going back next week. And don't you tell Daddy. I got to, so you don't have to. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Mama! Mama, Dr. King is on the TV. Mama, there's a whole lot of people there, and they all like him. I liked his dream too, but a few weeks later, Daddy, they said some racists blew up a church in Birmingham. They killed 4 little girls. I'm sad, Daddy. Daddy, why'd they do it? There's some good white people and some bad white people. The bad ones ain't living the way the Lord wants them to. Mr. Petway, the principal, came running into my class. Turn on the TV. What? Mr. Crutchfield said. Turn on the TV, Mr. Petway said as he ran out the door. Mr. Crutchfield ran to the TV and turned it on, but nothing happened. I noticed it wasn't plugged in, so I plugged it in. After it warmed up, Mr. Cronkite said something like, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy has been shot and is dead. We all just stared at the TV. It was then that I started to think things would not change the way my father wanted them to. June 5th, 1966 was the day James Meredith started his walk from Memphis to Jackson. They shot him. He was just walking down the street trying to give us courage. I started to think, how much more of this are we going to have to take? I can't take anymore. We're going to have to do something. The next day, I heard Stokely Carmichael say Black Power, and I liked it. I knew what I wanted. Black Power. Black Power. Black power. Son, now I don't want you going on that march today. I don't think it's the right thing to do. This is something we got to pray about. And pray? I am 16. Pray about what? Oh, Lord, don't let them beat me. Don't let the dogs chew on me. I'm tired of praying. Praying never do us any good. Like Stokely Carmichael said, you got to fight to get what you want, old man. Don't you ever talk to me. Son, not all white people are bad. There's still some good white people out there. I was just a little boy, a lot younger than you, and I always wanted me my own horse. That summer, I worked 2 acres of tobacco. It was a good summer. I earned my money and bought me a horse. I named her Josie May, and I would ride Josie May up and down the road, kicking up lots of dust. People would stop and look. Some would wave. Other times they just shook their head. One day, Mama sent me to the general store to buy some flour and sugar. Outside the store, there were these 2 white boys drinking some cold drinks. And they were older than me. I saw them looking at Josie May as I was tying her up. They watched me as I went into the store. I got Mama's flour and sugar, and I was about to buy it when I saw one of them untying Josie May. And I ran to the door and said, "Leave her alone." But they kept untying her. Now, I didn't want any trouble. So I decided I was going to go home, get her, and come back later. When one of the boys grabbed me, then they both started pushing me and hitting me and calling me names, saying, "You don't need no horse like that." I don't remember pulling out the tobacco knife. I just remember swinging it. I cut one on the arm and chest and the other in the stomach. And they started screaming. People come running from out the store, and they were all white. And they ran to the boys. I told them the boys was trying to steal my horse, but he wouldn't listen. 2 big men started coming at me. "We gonna get you, boy." I got scared. I started running, and they chased me. I ran into the woods and lost them. I ran 5 miles to my Aunt Ione's house, and I told her what happened. And she got scared. She went and got Daddy, and they came back with the sheriff. The sheriff told me, "Boy, we're going to have to take you to jail for your own protection." It was dark when we got there. There was a crowd waiting outside. And when they saw me, they started yelling, "Let us take care of the nigger!" They started jaking and pulling on me. And someone tried to pull a rope around my neck. The sheriff had to hustle me into the jailhouse. In the jail, all I could do was pray. And I heard them yelling, "Hang him! Hang him!" Then it got quiet. I got scared, wondering, what are they doing? And then I heard my daddy's boss talking. He wasn't yelling. Everybody knew who he was. "I want you all to go on home. I know this boy. His dad is one of my best niggers. I don't want a hair on his head harmed. Y'all hear me?" Nobody said nothing. He walked into the jail and told the sheriff to let me out, that he would be taking me home. nobody never touched me. And I knew that it was the Lord that sent him to save me. I promised that I would never have the hate in my heart that I felt from that crowd. And to this day, I done kept my promise. Thank you.
Wow. Can we give another round of applause for that, gentlemen? Marcus, that was amazing. That was amazing. I also want to thank Thomas Roberts Simpson for that work. Wow, amazing. Thank you. Yes. Well, the night just keeps getting better. I'm so glad we're in celebration together. Our next performer is Aldrian KTG Bryant II. Will perform Standing Tall. He is a dancer born and raised in Oakland, California. His main styles are turfing and flexing. He was featured in music videos for Wale, Big Sean, and Kendrick. Misty Copeland highlighted Aldrian in her film Flower, which centers on housing and insecurity. Let's go to the next page before I forget to mention anything else here. And let's see, and gentrification and the communal power of art. Bryant has also worked with Rich and Tone Brothers and George Nelson. He is a renowned battle dancer competing in Red Bull, Turfic, Nightwalkers, Yak of the Bay, Art and Soul Battles, and more. For your pleasure, here is Aldrian KTG Bryant II. Thanks.
feeling is unmatched. This feeling is brought to you by adrenaline and good rap. Black Pendleton, ball cap. We don't share the same synonym, far back. Been in it before internet had new acts. Mimicking radio's nemesis made me whack. My innocence limited, the experience lacked. 10 of us with no tentative tactic that cracked the mind of a literate writer, but I did it in fact. You admitted it once I submitted it, wrapped in plastic. Remember scribbling, scratching, diligent sentences backwards, visiting freestyle ciphers for your reaction. Now I can live in this stadium, pack it the fastest. Gambling, Benjamin benefit, sending in traffic, spinning women in cartwheels, linen fabric on fashion, winning in every decision. Kendrick is master that mastered it, isn't it? Lovely how menaces turn attraction, pivoting rappers finish a fraction while writing blue magic. Thank God for rap. I would say it got me a pack, but what's better than that? The fact it brought me back home.
We've been waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you.
I know everything, I know everything. Know myself, I know morality, spirituality, good and bad health. I know fatality might haunt you. I know everything, I know Compton, I know street, I know that's conscious. I know everything, I know lawyers, advertisement and sponsors. I know wisdom, I know bad religion, I know good karma. I know everything, I know history. I know the universe works mentally. I know the perks of is it meant for me? I know everything. I know cars, clothes, and money. I know loyalty. I know respect. I know those that's unreal. I know everything. The highs, the lows, the groupies, the junkies. I know if I'm generous at heart, I don't need recognition. The way I'm rewarded, well, that's God's decision. I know you know that line's for Compton School District. Just give it to the kids, don't gossip about how it's distributed. I know how people work. I know the price of life, I'm knowing how much it's worth. I know what I know, and I know it well not to ever forget. Until I realized I didn't know the day I came home.
We've been waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you, waiting for you.
I met a little boy that resembled my features. Nappy afro, gap in his smile. Hand-me-down sneakers bounce through the crowd. Running number home men and women that crossed him. Sunbeaming on his BDBs, exhausted. Tossing footballs with his ashy black ankles. Breaking new laws, mama passed on home training. He looked at me and said, Kendrick, you do know my language. You just forgot because of what public schools had painted. Oh, I forgot, don't kill my vibe, that's right, you're famous. I used to watch on Channel 5, TV was taken. But never mind, you're here right now, don't you mistake it, it's just a new trip. Take a glimpse of your family ancestor, make a new list of everything you thought was progress, and that was. I know your life is full of turmoil, you're spoiled by fantasies of who you are. I feel bad for you, I can attempt to enlighten you without frightening you. If you resist, I back off quick, go catch a flight or two. But if you pick destiny over rest in peace, then be an advocate. Tell your homies especially to come back home.
Mr. Duckworth.
All of these make it difficult.
Session 10. Breakthrough.
One of these lives, I'ma make these right with the wrongs I done. That's when I unite with the father, son, till then I fight. Rain on me, put the blame on me. Got guilt, got hurt, got shame on me. Got 6 magazines that's aimed at me. Done every magazine was fame to me. It's a game to me with a bedroom mat. Sleep, I ain't never had affairs with that. What's fair when the hearts and the words don't reach? What's fair when the money don't take things back? It's rare when somebody take your dreams back. I care too much, wanna share too much. In my head too much, I shut down too. I ain't there too much, I'm a complex soul. They layered me up, then broke me down. Immorality's dust, I lack in trust. This time around I trust myself. Please everybody else but myself. All else fails, I was myself. Outdone fear, outdone myself. This year you better won yourself. Mask on the babies, mask on the op. Wear masks in the neighborhood stores you shop. But a mask won't hide who you are inside. Look around, the reality's carved in lies. Wipe my ego, dodge my pride. Look myself in the mirror, Amityville, ain't seen nothing scarier. I fought like a pit bull terrier. Blood I shed could fill up aquariums. Tell all my angels carry them. Every emotion been deprived. Even my strong points couldn't survive. If I didn't learn to love myself, forgive myself 100 times, dawg. I love when you count me out. 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 How you gonna wear my shorts when the lights run deep? How you gonna bend your love when the bed don't sleep? Deep beat crash our feelings in the middle of the street. Vroom, vroom. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the was at. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the bros was at. 3:30 in the morning, scroll through the call up. Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off. I love when you count me out. 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 My name is in your mouth. Sure, sure.
This don't take more than pride to stop me. Call 911, call the body. Sign out now, as the day is fading. Feelings only a mile away.
Let me tell you about the woman I know.
That's my baby.
I know karma like to follow us strong. I know millionaires that feel alone. Anytime I couldn't find God, I still could find myself through a song. Many find their life in the phone. I feel better if I just worked hard without lifting my head up. That left me fed up. You made me worry. I wanted my best version, but you ignored me. Then changed the story. Then change the story. Good energy in the room, drop the location, please. Anybody out there for the one when I'm frustrated, please. Tryna keep my good conscience in rotation. Thoughts in my head, they living there with no. Tryna keep my good. I made a decision, never give you my feelings. What you from? What you from a distance? I put it on the devil when they fall short. I put it on my ego, Lord of all lords. Sometimes I fall for doubt. I love when you count me out. 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 My name is in your mouth. Miss regrets, I believe that you done me wrong. Miss regrets, can you please exit out my own? Miss regret, I think I'm better off alone. Miss regret, I got this deep regret. Some things I can't forget. Lord knows I tried my best. You said it's not my best. I came about my flesh. Some things I must confess. Spoke my truth, paid my debt. Can't you see I'm a wreck? Let me loose. I digress. This is me, and I'm blessed. 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 Anybody fighting through the stress? Anybody fighting through the
Wow. Woo, that was amazing. Thank you. Oh my God. Now y'all don't want to see me up. I'm inspired though. I'm inspired. Our next is Ranzel. He's here. Okay. Ranzel Merritt is a multifaceted musician and composer. His educational journey includes certifications from Oakland School for the Arts, a full scholarship at San Francisco State University, and programs at Berklee College of Music, the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music, the California Jazz Conservatory, and Cal Berkeley Haas School of Business and Product Management. Ranzel was an original member of Pop Life, placing fourth on America's Got Talent. Ranzel's saxophone skills audience wherever he performs. And I have to tell you, Ranzel, oh my God, it's so good to see you, man. I remember this guy when he was like this little playing with his pops at 1300, and now look at you. Come on up here and perform for us tonight. Thank you. So great.
Thank you. This is the Renzo Mayor Quartet. Appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you for the Black Excellence, and thank you for Thomas. Appreciate you all. That was Cousin Mary by John Coltrane. This next song we're going to be doing is Acknowledgement from the Love Supreme Tribute.
Thank you. That was a acknowledgement by John Coltrane. The next song we'll be doing is Giant Steps.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Commonwealth.
much. Let's have another round. Whoa!
David Michelle Rudy on
How about
piano,
the whole-
Sean Myers
whole
on drums,
program?
and Mike Jones on bass. Thank you all for having me. I'm Renzo Merritt.
Let's hear it again for the great program tonight. Thank you, everybody. And thanks, everyone, for being here. And go out and someone set up a free bar, so go out and have some wine. And and take home with you a Commonwealth Club membership brochure. We hope you'll come again early and often. And let's do this again next year.
Thank you, Ann.
Yes. You're welcome.
Great.